Hi, this is Steve Rybrook from LedgeView Partners, and this video is about the June 2019 enhancements we've added to our CRM for oil and gas. So some pretty exciting stuff today, all revolving around Dashboard 97, which is the way you can request reports and they will get emailed to you. There's a lot of options on that feature. We've added a couple that people have been asking for. We want to do more analysis on profit per unit. So that's probably the biggest hitter today. So we'll touch on that. Also, for those of you who really like to analyze your business overall, new and share of wallet, we've added a couple more options on this report type feature, where you can run reports now where it combines share of wallet and new into one set of numbers for you, so you don't have to run two reports and add them together. And we also added an option to be able to run all less your share of wallet and new, for those of you who have been running all three of the reports, all new and share of wallet, and then subtracting those out. Now we'll do that for you. So I'm just going to go through which reports are affected, and then I'm going to show you Dashboard 97, and then I'll show you some of the reports, and then we'll call it a day. So reports that are affected, the account ranking report. So again, all of these reports are going to allow for this new report type. It's the new profit per unit, which is kind of exciting. So imagine now ranking your accounts with the best profit per unit down to the worst profit per unit. That might help you analyze some issues that you might have going on. The order history totals report, we added a column for profit per unit. The account period comparison report, we allow you to compare not only volume, gross profit, and revenue, but now if you want, you can choose to compare profit per unit. We've also got some requests on that report for those of you doing it, for those of you using this. That report shows you totals for two different periods and compares the difference. And then we have been showing you the last 3 months in each period, so you could see some trending. Now we're going to show you up to 12 months in the periods that you selected, so you can see all kinds of trending. The sales summary report, which is kind of a cool report to just kind of get a high-level glimpse of some of your numbers. Lots of different ways to group the data. Now you're going to see columns on there for profit per unit. This is probably my favorite change. Report 200, which is a way for you to analyze your products, see trending information for a specific or for your products. Again, with all the filters that you want to apply to the report, we now give you the ability to control the way the data is grouped. So it's not necessarily a product analysis report anymore. You might want to see trending over 13 months by owner, by account, by department, by product category, by segment. So because we're adding this group by, we actually changed the name to just the 13-month trending analysis report. And when you run it, it's just going to ask you, how do you want to group the data? Really, what are you analyzing today? So this is some pretty cool stuff here, I think. We've also changed the account product variance report for those of you who run that. Again, we account for profit per unit. We've added a variance column, variance percent column. So this report is pretty detailed, right? It's down to the account product level, so it's a pretty long report. We've got some requests to summarize the product data to the product segment level within an account. So we just created two new reports, 206 and 206 Excel friendly, which those of you who like to manipulate and play around with the data, you'll appreciate this version. But these reports are exactly like 205, except they don't print one line per account and product. They print one line per account and product segment. All right, a few other ones which probably not as significant. Report 215 lets you pick between 2 and 15 product segments, and then it shows you that data for each account. Most people use that to just compare volume to see if, hey, somebody's buying a lot of one product segment, why aren't they buying a lot of another? So adding profit per unit to that probably isn't like the greatest feature, but some of you might take advantage of that. The salesperson goal versus actual, that's going to account for that new report type. I think a lot of people might like that for being able to pull share of wallet and new together, or to pull share of wallet and new out of the overall, just to see how kind of existing business is doing. Profit per unit really doesn't apply to 340. And then the salesperson growth report, that does show profit per unit. So now you're going to see that feature as well. And then one report that we created that it is not in Dashboard 97, it's right on the reports menu, is to let you run your own CRM user list. So I think I'll start with that in CRM, then we'll flip over to 97, and then I'll show you some of these reports. So with that being said, let me flip over to CRM. All right, so I'm in CRM, I went into Workplace and in Reports, and in the Report section, we've added Report 850, this master user list. There's no parameters to fill out, you just click the button, and what it does is it gives you a list of all of your users and then what security role they have. So for those of you on the call who actually manage your user list, and if you add somebody or remove somebody, you have a spreadsheet that you're managing, this might help you keep that spreadsheet up to date. Because we tried to make the columns on this report match that spreadsheet. So there's some things that are kind of important from a CRM perspective. Things like what's the employee number? That's how the data load ties accounts back to the rightful owner. What sales area are they in? Are inside sales, outside sales? Is this user able to edit the account number? So pretty simple report, but thought some of you might take advantage of it. We're definitely going to use it here on the support team, because a lot of times we get asked questions, and to be able to just quick run this report, we should be able to get a lot of quick answers on one nice report. All right, so now to the good stuff. Going into Workplace, into dashboards. And for those of you who don't know, this Dashboard 97 is a way you can request a report and it will get emailed to you. So you just fill in what you want, hit the request button, and then you can keep working. And whether it's 5 or 20 minutes later, right, if you ask for a lot of reports, you know, your email is going to start going bing, 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 get a lot of the reports emailed to you. So how does it work? First, you hit this little drop down to get a list of all the reports. And then I'll just grab this first one for an example. Account ranking report. It's going to ask, how do you want to rank your accounts? So this display in, you're going to see now we've added profit per unit. It used to just have gross profit, revenue, and volume. All the rest of this is pretty much the same. You enter a range of dates. If you want to filter the data, so I only want a certain owner or maybe 3 people. I want to analyze their accounts. I only want to analyze a certain industry. So there are things at the account level that you can filter on. So really, you pick the data you want, and then we'll run the report for you. At the order history level, you might only want certain products. You might want certain departments, certain product categories, certain product segments. So again, just check the ones you want. And as soon as you start checking in here, we're only going to include these. If you don't check in a certain box, then we assume you want all. So that's Dashboard 97. So we added the profit per unit up above, and then down below in the order history, that's where we analyze each transaction, whether it's new business, share of wallet business, everything falls under all business. So here's where we added those couple things I mentioned earlier. So in the past, you could run an all report, a share of wallet report, or a new account report. Now you can run a share plus new report or an all less share and new report. So for those of you who are into this, and hopefully some of you on the call are, you are going to love these 2 buttons, because it's just going to save you a lot of manual mathematics. So there you go. So rather than actually run a bunch of these, I did that ahead of time, and I'm just going to pull up each of the reports that I ran and show them to you. We'll do this kind of quick. So here is, if I kind of scroll over, here is that first report, that account ranking report. And in this particular case, I picked a range of dates. I'm actually analyzing all my data within that range of dates. I didn't filter out on share a wallet or anything. So this is everything. And I told it to rank my customers, my accounts, by profit per unit, which is like a new feature. So now you're seeing, let's see, I'm at the bottom of this. You're seeing the accounts. I've got some pretty funny data in here. I've got this first account averages $2,638 per unit. Wow, that's a great customer. And as I scroll down, you'll see that the profit per unit gets lower and lower and lower. So this might be a report where, yeah, it's kind of neat to look at the top of the report, but the bottom might be the alarming part. The other thing that you might want to consider when running this report is if you have multiple divisions or what we call departments, combining all of them might kind of make this analysis not very, I guess, useful. So just because lubricants and fuel, have such a different profit per unit, you might want to run this report just for fuel. You might want to run it just for lubricants, and even within lubricants, maybe just one product segment, because your product segments could vary so much, right? And then really you can really hone in on any issues you might have with your markups, right? Are you pricing this right? If your profit per unit is just way too low, maybe that's just not enough, even if there is a lot of volume there. So anyway, I think this is pretty exciting. I think this profit per unit, this is only one report, and there's a lot more I'm going to show you. But if you can get your arms around this, I think this can really help you manage your business. All right, moving on. I'm going to kind of speed up things here a little bit. This is the report 100, just a very simple account order history totals report. Again, all the same filters. And this just lists every account. It's in order alphabetically by account, but it's in Excel, and it basically just lists gross profit, revenue, volume, and profit per unit. So you get all that information all on one nice report. What else do we have? Here's that account period comparison report. So again, one line per customer, per account. You pick 2 time periods, and I just show you that whatever you want to compare. In this case, I'm comparing profit per unit. So the current period profit per unit, the prior period, what's the variance, and what's the variance percent. So this is really the kind of the guts of the report. This is all you really have to look at. But some folks, they want to see kind of the monthly numbers that are included in this period that they picked. So they want to see trending. So you don't have to scroll across if you don't want to, but if you do, you'll see column headings that represent up to 12 months in your current period and 12 months from your prior period. I just don't have a lot of data in here. It's really exciting when I run these reports in your systems to see what's really happening. And then there's other information about the account way on the end. So again, you don't have to use any of these columns. It's just Excel, right? But if you want to, they're there, right? So perfect. But this might be all you really care about. Moving on. So report 170 is that sales summary report. I really like that because that report, you have a lot of control over how you group the data, and you can group up to 3 levels. So I'm running a report by department, product category, and product segment. So I'm just going to kind of scroll down to lubricants. So for the lubricants department, here are my numbers. But within that, these are my product categories and those numbers. And within that, my product segments. And what are those numbers? And we've added profit per unit. So again, just kind of tells you a little bit of a different story than what you might be expecting. And that might tell you you have to make some business changes. All right. Okay, this was the one that I was most excited about. This report 200 got changed to our 13-month trending analysis report, which we now give you options to group by. This is the original group by, which was by product, so 1 line per product. So that's basically, if I pick by product, I'm going to get exactly what it used to do. But another new feature is you can now trend profit per unit. Again, I don't have a lot of data in here for each month, but to see 13 months of profit per unit by product might be helpful. I just ran this by a couple other groupings just to show you. So here's that trending report by product segment. So again, 1 line per product segment. And again, I'm analyzing profit per unit. This could have just as easily have been gallons, gross profit, or revenue. So you can just see, if you have any months that are higher than other months, any way you have to adjust your inventory accordingly, right? This could tell you a lot if you're analyzing volume, profit per unit, whatnot. I think I did 2 more here. So here's that trending report by account. It's a little bit redundant now that we changed that one other report I showed you, that 115, where we give you that 12 months of trending, but I think this is a little bit more concise report. So trending 13 months by account. And again, I can pick volume, gross profit, revenue, or profit per unit. And then the last one I ran was just by department. So a very small report, right? So here's each of my departments and how much, in this case, volume I brought in over these 13 months. And then there's a total at the end for the 13 months combined. And then there's a total across the bottom for each of your 13 months. All right, moving on to report 205. That's the account product variance report. Again, for each account, it lists every product they purchased with some totals, and it shows volume, gross profit, revenue. We've added this variance percent. We always had the variance. Now we added the variance percent. And then we added a whole section for profit per unit. And a whole different way of kind of looking at your data. So hopefully it's helpful. And then that new report we created, 206, the exact same report, except it's one line per product segment within an account. So again, if you have an account buying, 100 products from you, report 205 might just be a little bit too much. So this might be a nice option for you. All right, kind of wrapping up. Report 215, again, not super excited about this one. Maybe there's a good use for it, but this is where you can take your accounts and line up all the different product segments they buy, and you pick the product segments, and then we just show you how much of each they purchase, whether you pick volume, revenue, gross profit. You can also pick profit per unit. So we'll give you the profit per unit that you're making on each product segment for your accounts. This was originally designed really based on volume to kind of look for share of wallet opportunities, right? If a customer who buys antifreeze typically buys additives, right? Why is somebody buying, and there's maybe a potential opportunity to sell additives to the second account listed here. That was the purpose of this report when we first built it. And then here's the salesperson goal versus actual report. Again, profit per unit doesn't apply, but this being able to run this report to say, I want to take the overall business and subtract out share of wallet and new. Now I don't have to run the report multiple ways and do the subtraction myself. I can just get what I want. So that's that one. And then finally, the salesperson growth report. So this one does allow for that report type option as we talked about, but we also added a whole section for profit per unit. So now you're seeing how your sales team is doing compared to, gross profit for 2 different time periods, volume for 2 different time periods, and now profit per unit for 2 different time periods. So just again, another way to analyze your data. So we added profit per unit to a few things maybe about a year ago just to see how it would go, and it was well received. So now we changed it in all these reports within Dashboard 97. So I think if I kind of flip back to the PowerPoint, I think I'm good to go. So yeah, I'm good to go. That was everything. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoy some of these, a couple of the new reports, and especially the new features we've added to the existing reports in our June 2019 release. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day.